Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for A Course in Weight Loss by Marianne Williamson. Today is a little different because we want to invite you to the same challenge that we've been invited to.
Right.
And it goes along perfectly with this course. We have decided to enlist a personal trainer to help us because neither one of us has the
willpower, determination.
I don't know if I'd say willpower or determination. Okay, I'll say that. But neither one of us also wanted to do the background.
There we go.
We didn't want to go to do the background research and what we needed to do and how we needed to do it. We just wanted to have someone who has that knowledge to go on and tell us what we needed to do in order to help us get this off and get healthy.
Right.
So he has issued a challenge, and we wanted to invite you to the same challenge if you so choose. Right. This is a 10-day food challenge, and he has given us some parameters to go by, and we're going to do it. We've set the intention. We're setting the intention to do it.
Okay, we're going to do it.
We're setting the intention to do this, but it's just for 10 days, and it's not a diet, it's simply a challenge, and it's just for 10 days. And the point being, he told us, so that we become aware of what we're doing and what we're putting into our bodies. Right. So it's simply a challenge. There's not a pass or fail here. The point behind it being just to know what it is you're doing. Right. So that goes along with this, we need to write this down. Everything that we're putting in, to everything that we eat, we need to write it down.
Everything we eat, everything goes in our mouth, we write it down.
Right.
Or we can use something like MyFitnessPal, which is free, and which helps you track the calories and everything. But I will say, don't go by how many calories they say you should have, because that was one of the first things I learned after going to the fitness trainer is they say 1,200 because they want you to lose weight, so you'll keep using their tool. And he says everybody should have at least 1,800 calories.
If you're exercising.
If you're exercising, right.
If you're exercising, then you should have 1,800 calories, because you've got to also account for the exercise.
Right.
So 1,200 is average.
1,200 is the bare minimum, but for us, since we're exercising 3 times a week at least, then we should get 1,800 a day. Excuse me.
Okay, so the food challenge
is to try to limit your diet to these things: to lean meat
for the next 10 days.
For the next 10 days, lean meat, chicken, steak, whatever,
fish,
seafood, lean meat, and then fruits and vegetables. And nuts and seeds. So
now that's not cooking fried chicken.
No.
That's baked chicken.
Right.
You know, that's not coating everything in rich syrups and
Well, I mean, if you stay as natural as possible. So use real butter instead of margarine. Use real sugar instead of artificial sweetener. Stay as natural as possible. He did say try to limit artificial sweeteners. Try to cut them out if possible. Use honey and real sugar instead of artificial sweeteners, which means you can't have Diet Cokes or Diet Dr. Pepper, or no flavoring in your water with artificial sweeteners, and no sugar-free gum because it has that fake sugar stuff in it. Also, no processed foods. Try to cut those completely out of the diet.
What do you mean by processed foods?
I mean like Twinkies or,
but he goes on and says
potato chips.
Anything that's in a box or in a can is also processed.
That's true. So it needs to be fresh. Cut back on starches and sodium. So no potatoes and breads and the high sodium stuff. And to limit your sugar intake, which we all knew. And that's it. Just to try to stay as natural as possible.
He also said this is a challenge and not a diet. Right. So we're going to stress that again. This is a challenge and not a diet. He said if you screw up and you have a Twinkie, I don't care. Just write it down. So that you become accountable for what you're putting in. And then you can see, how your actions create.
He also said that most people who do this for 10 days lose 3 to 5 pounds and 2 to 4 inches.
I'm ready for that.
So I'm gonna really try.
I am too.
I don't think I'll have a problem doing it.
Now, like you said, MyFitnessPal.com is a really good way to write it down and get an average about
on your phone.
Yeah, it's got an app on the phone, but it gives you a good average of the calorie intake and how much sodium is in everything that you're eating. So it's a really good way to map out what you're going to have meal-wise.
Right.
I pay less attention now to the calories than I do the sodium and the sugar and everything else. But it's just a really good way.
It is.
Yeah, and how processed it is. It's just a really good way in order to write all that down and know where I'm at.
Right. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that since it's winter and there's been a lot of bad weather, we haven't always been able to get to the gym.
Yes.
So he gave us a really quick, well, I won't say quick, but a really easy way to get our exercise in, even when we're not at the gym. So even if you don't have a personal trainer and you want to start the exercise, this is something I can do at home without anything else. So it's 25 jumping jacks, 25 crunches, 25 push-ups, and 25 squats, and then repeat that as many times as you can. Now,
well, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
I will say that I am really good at the jumping jacks. I can do 100 at a time. So I usually do 100 instead of 25. I am not so good at the push-ups. I do good to get 10 or 11.
So do as many as you can.
So I do as many as I can.
Well, and when I first started, I couldn't do an actual push-up. So I had to start at my knees.
So
and that's okay. You start with where you are.
Right.
Start with where you are.
The crunches are fairly okay for me, and the squats are a little easier, so I usually do more of those. I usually do 50 to 100, depending on how I'm feeling for the day. But the point is to push my body to where I know I can do it. And not to overdo it, but not underdo it either.
Right.
So just do what you're comfortable with and what works for you. And to do that, I try to do it at least 3 times. Okay, so there you have it.
Something else that we didn't mention is the water.
Water. Drink lots of water.
You're supposed to
Stay
have an
hydrated.
average of 8 glasses a day, which turns out to be 4 bottles of water.
Right.
If you're buying bottled water, it ends up being 4 bottles of water. Well, I know I can do that pretty easily, 4 bottles of this water.
Yeah, especially if you're not drinking the Diet Cokes and the water flavored stuff, flavoring.
All right, so we've set the intention to follow this challenge, and it starts today. And so we ask that you jump in there with us and let us know how it's working for you.
Right.
And
we're going to keep you updated
we're going to
on how
learn.
we're doing.
We're going to learn from each other, and we
Good, bad, and
will.
ugly.
We will, as we go through this, we're going to update you truthfully on how it's going for us too.
Good stuff.
This is going to be really good stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Shreen.